Hello, and welcome to the second installment of Herping with Dave. It's a couple weeks since the last video, so we're going to try and cover some of the species that we didn't see last time. We'll start off with sort of an outtake from the previous video with a ringneck snake. Let's take a look at this board here, which is out in full sunlight. Oh, sweet ringneck snake. There we go. Oops. After repeated attempts to find that ringneck snake under the same board, we finally did see it earlier this week. So let's go ahead and take a look at that ringneck snake now. This is how it was supposed to happen. Okay, let's check this board here. I've got high hopes. Look at that ringneck snake. Beautiful. You can see the beautiful colors on the underside of his body. Yeah, I'll pick him up and then we'll take a closer look at him. Well, we found this beautiful ringneck snake. This particular individual is rather dark, and you can see a little band on the back of his neck that's orange, and that is the color of his complete underside. And these snakes can be rather common in the right habitat, and they're somewhat common here at the Elkhorn Slough. There he goes. This is another one of those small snakes that is probably mildly venomous, but we don't know that much about him. He's, you can see that orange color underneath. That just serves as a distraction for predators. You can show a little bit of that orange, and then his base color then disappears into the underbrush. Beautiful animal. These guys will feed on slender salamanders and insects. He was under this board with a little scaloporous lizard, but the lizard looked too big for him to eat. So I guess they were reluctant roommates. This is Diodophis punctatus. They're common across the United States. They don't get much bigger than maybe 24, maybe 30 inches is a world record. So a small common snake. Beautiful, beautiful coloring. So I've got this guy in hand so we could take a closer look at his colors. And you can see that sort of coral color on the ventral side of his body. Just a beautiful, beautiful animal. Here's his head there. Ringneck snake. One of the more beautiful serpents we have here in the United States and here at the Elkhorn Slough. There he is, making his way. We've got a board here under an old coyote bush. Let's see what we got. Look at that. Nice looking. Really beautiful ringneck snake. Let's just look at him. Gorgeous. Gorgeous animal. Kicking back here. Looks kind of plump there. Feeding. Getting covered in ants here, but sorry about that. There we go. Look at this guy. Beautiful animal. That's a pretty big ringneck snake. Maybe about 14 inches or so. Okay, the ants are crawling all over me, so I'm going to back off. There we go. This guy's in the shade. We have some very active ants. Immediately start moving their larvae to safety. These are Argentine ants. Little black ants, an invasive species. They found that these ants are all clones of each other. So in fact, there's just one colony on the Central Coast, and they're all clones of the same individual. So if that don't blow your mind. Took these boards yesterday. In the afternoon it was warm. Didn't find anything, which tells me that the animals are active on the surface. So coming here in the morning, it's probably about 8:30 in the morning. They may be resting, getting ready for today. Oh, there's a good one for us. This is a southern alligator lizard. Beautiful. This is in the genus Alligator. There's a northern and a southern alligator lizard. We're in an area where both could occur. But we're more likely to see the southern alligator lizard here. Interesting thing about Alligator and those two species is that the more northern species is live bearing, so it doesn't lay eggs. It gives birth to little juveniles. And the southern alligator lizard, Alligator multicarinatus, gives birth to eggs. So this kind of cool adaptation to the northern latitudes with a northern alligator lizard. They look a lot alike. We're going to take a closer look at this animal in the hand, southern alligator lizard. They tend to bite, so you want to keep your fingers away from that mouth. They're not going to hurt you. But in Southern California, the subspecies can get to be quite large with a head probably twice the size of my thumb. They can inflict a painful bite. Some interesting things about these guys is that they have different kinds of scales. Here on the back, you have this beautiful camouflage. Lots of variation here. Browns, blacks, whites. And then on the ventral surface, there are these square scales for moving around, sliding effortlessly along on the forest floor. And then in between those two scales, there's this interesting fold of skin with granular scales. It's a little hard to see in there. Let's see. And this allows them to expand their body or contract and reduce or increase the girth of the central part of their body, which allows them to hold a big meal in their stomach. Also allows them to squeeze into tight places. Now, northern and alligator lizards can be told apart by a couple of different things. One is the eye color. These guys have a yellowish eye. And most diagnostically, on the underside, there are these vertical stripes that you can sort of faintly see, and the stripes go through the middle of the scales. It takes a little bit of imagination to see this. On the northern alligator lizard, the stripes go between the scales. This guy has got a beautiful long tail. Doesn't appear to have lost it. when they lose a tail, changes the pattern of it. It doesn't match so closely, but this one is just a gorgeous animal. So I think we're done harassing him. Sometimes you find mites right there behind the jawline, which I don't see any on this guy. So we're just going to go ahead and let him go. Okay, we're going to go ahead and let our new friend go. Alligator multicarinatus. There he goes. Bud. Go back under your shelter there. You have a good day, sir. So we have a common yellowthroat calling out there in the poison hemlock, and this is the board where we had a pair of gopher snakes a couple weeks ago now, I guess. It's now morning. Let's see what we get. Well, there we go. I've not seen those yet. This is a garter snake. Beautiful, beautiful garter snake here. So we have coast garter snakes, we have red-sided garter snakes. And we need to take a look at this guy a little closer, figure out what he is. Generally, we look at the underside. The way I do it anyway is look at the underside and see what kind of coloring we have there. Garter snakes are notorious for pooping on you. So you want to be aware of that. You can see this guy's sticking out his tongue. He's got a beautiful red tongue. It's forked. The two tips of those forks go up into these two depressions in their palate where they lead to Jacobson organs, which are able to transmit information they're gathering to the brain. So it's sort of like they're tasting the air. This is how they find prey. So he's gathering information about me here. Garter snakes typically have these longitudinal stripes. This one's got a little red on the side that's broken up. So looking at the underside of this garter snake, we see a little bit of red flecking here and there, which tells me that it's a coast garter snake. These snakes can be extremely common in some areas, and this is probably about the second one I've seen this year, so I think they're just starting to get active. And again, it's morning, and so we're catching him right before he's getting into some activity. So let's put this guy down here. There, he's going to leave us. Well, thanks for coming along. We saw some good stuff, and we'll do it again soon. I'm hoping that in the next couple of months we'll be able to open the reserve to the public again, and we can all wander on the trails once again and get outdoors. Thanks. Have a great day.